Welcome to this online class, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss some important terms which are going to be used in this first year as well as second year. They are program, software, hardware, computer, input, output, processing, binary or machine language, low level language, high level language, C++, so just observe the board. What I written some computer related terms. These are the very important terms while studying this PUC first year as well as second year. See the terms: program, software, third one is the hardware, fourth one is the computer, fifth one is the input, sixth one is the output, seventh one is the processing, binary language, or else it is also called machine level language. Next one, low level language, high level language, C++, memory. So in the last class, from last 2-3 class, we studied some basic concepts, right? So now we are able to know what is mean by computer, what are the main parts of the computer, capabilities of computer, characteristics of computer, right? So we learned some basics of computer, and also we listed the applications of computer, and also we discussed in detail how computers are going to be used in different fields, right? So in this class I am going to discuss with you people these terms which are very important for this first year as well as second year. First one is, see here, First one is program. What is a program? I think you heard this word called, right? Program. According to computer science, means while studying computer science, these are the common words we can learn these things. We are going to use these things commonly while studying computer science, right? So first one is program. What is a program? Program is nothing but set of instructions given to the computer to perform some operations. This is the definition of program. What is a program? Program is a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some task or to perform assigned task, right? It means you have practical work, that is for this first year as well as second year, the whole syllabus is divided into two parts, as I said already. First one is theory part, second one is practical part. You are going to write annually theory examination as well as lab examination. Theory exam contains, or theory exam is going to be conducted for 70 marks, practical exam is going to be conducted for 30 marks. Total for computer science maximum marks is 100 every year. So while whenever you are going to study practical subject, practical syllabus for this first year as well as second year, you have C++ programming. Means you have to write a program, you have to write a C++ program, and you have to perform some task. So means we have to know what is the mean by program. What I said, program is nothing but a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some task. You understand? Let us see one example. Suppose for your first year, one program is there. Using C++, write a program to perform arithmetical operations. Means what you have to do? First you have to learn C++ programming language in theory, then afterwards you are going for practicals, right? So in the practical, first question will be like this. Write a C++ program to perform arithmetical operations. It means arithmetical operations means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? We know. So means what program you have to write? Means after giving a two number, means after entering a two number, means entering two number means giving two inputs. Computer must accept those two inputs and it must perform arithmetical operations on those input. Means it must accept those input and it must produce sum of two number, subtraction of given two number, multiplication of given two number, division on given two number is as follows. Like that it must display result. This is your task. Means you have to write a program to perform arithmetical operations. What is the program? Program is a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some task, right? So here what is the task? You have to write a program to perform arithmetical operations. To perform that arithmetical operation purpose, you are going to give some instruction to the computer. What is the task here? Performing arithmetical operation is your task. To complete this task, you are going to give instruction to the computer, such as accept two input by user and afterwards take those two input and perform addition on those two input, perform subtraction, perform multiplication, perform division on those two input. Like that you are giving some instruction to the computer. So giving instruction to such type of giving instructions in such way is called programming. Right? Now you are getting idea. What is the program? Program is nothing but a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some operation is called program. Right? So after learning some basics of C++ programming language, means what is the C++ language, what are the contents of C++ language, what are the rules, syntax of C++ language, then afterwards you are able to write C++ programs. Right? Without knowing the programming basics, it is not possible to write program. For example, without knowing the grammar, without knowing the letters, words, sentence, without knowing the grammar, it is not possible to communicate, right? In the same manner, by learning C++ programming language, it is possible to write C++ programs. Right? You got an idea? I am going to say once again. What is a program? Program is nothing but a set of instructions given to the computer to perform some task is called program. Right? So this is nothing but definition of program. Next term is software. What is a software? Software, hardware, these are the most commonly heard terms related to computer science, right? So what is a software? Set of programs or collection of programs is called a software. Collection of programs is called a software. Or else we can say software is the one which cannot seen and which cannot touch, but we can feel its action is called software. Right? So what is a software means? We can define in two ways. First, let us see. First one, what is a software? Collection of programs makes a software. Collection of programs makes a software. It means program is nothing but a set of instructions. Software is also nothing but a set of instructions. The difference is program is going to perform on single task. Program is also set of instructions. Software is also, we can say, set of instructions. The difference is program is going to perform a single task, whereas software means it is developed to, or it is written to perform more tasks. Means more tasks means for one single task we are going to write one program. For more tasks means we have to write more programs. So that's why software is nothing but a collection of programs to perform some task. Right? So that is nothing but software. And the next term is, third one, hardware. Hardware. This is also very common term while discussing software and hardware. What is the hardware? Hardware is nothing but physical component of a computer system. Any physical component of a computer system is called hardware. Or else we can say hardware is a one which we can touch and see. Hardware is a system component which we can see and touch is called hardware. Means it must be a physical component of a computer system which we can see and touch is called hardware. Generally, what students are going to make mistake means, what is a hardware means? Which we can touch and see is called hardware, which we cannot see and touch is called software. Like that you are going to write. but in the book he is clearly mentioned which we can see and touch. What is a hardware? Hardware is a system component which we can see and touch is called hardware. But maximum students are going to make mistake. They are going to say like this: hardware, define hardware. In the examination or in the class test I am going to ask what is a hardware. What generally students are going to make mistake means which we can see and touch is called hardware. Like this, like that you are going to write, but it is a wrong, because see here what is the common mistake you are going to do in the test means or exam. What is a hardware? Which we can see and touch is called hardware. See here, what is this? Dust, right? Which we can see and touch is called hardware. Is it hardware? No. But we can see and we can touch it, right? It is a hardware. According to your definition, what you are going to write? Which we can see and touch is called hardware. I am going to see, I am going to touch. It is a hardware? No. Then what is the mistake? While writing a definition for 1 mark, you have to write accurately. You have to say system component which we can touch and see is called hardware. That system component is very, very important. You must mention it while defining, especially for 1 mark, right? System component. Hardware is a system component which we can see and touch. This words comes means I cannot consider this because it is not a system component. System component which we can see and touch is called hardware. This is the clear definition. It is not a system component. System means computer, right? So it is not a computer. So that's why it is not a hardware. So what is the hardware? A system component means it must be a system component which we can see and touch is called hardware, right? That is a hardware. And this is a very important, that is differentiate between hardware and software. Hardware and software. What we can say? A system component which we can see and touch is called a hardware. For example, you take mouse, keyboard or any inner components of the CPU. It contains so many registers, so many memories, SMPS box, right? So like this, any physical component of a system which we can see and touch is called hardware. Then what is a software? I already said one definition, right? Collection of programs is called a software. That is one thing. Another way we can say that compared to hardware, we can say software is a one which cannot see and touch, but we can feel its action. Its action is called software. For example, you see, program is nothing but set of instructions, right? So set of instructions is also called software. Means after writing program, we cannot touch it. After creating software, we cannot touch it and we cannot see through our eye, but we can feel its action. After writing a program or software, system is going to interact with us. Suppose we are going to write a program or we are going to create a software to perform mathematical operation. Means it is going to ask enter 2 numbers to perform mathematical operations. Whenever it is going to ask like this input from user, means we can see its action, right? So that's why then afterwards user is going to enter input and it is going for processing. Afterwards we get a result in the form of output. So software is nothing but software is a collection of program. This is one definition. Another way we can say that software is the one which cannot be seen and touched, but we can feel its action, right? After creating software, that program or that software is going to interact with the user. Then we can feel it is working. It is interacting with user. Like this we can feel, right? So this is nothing but a software. And an example for software means operating system, OS, short form OS, operating system. In the software again it is two types: application software, system software, like that we will discuss in the next class in detail. So what is the hardware? Hardware is a physical component of a computer system which we can see and touch. So is called hardware. And the next is computer. This is already we discussed, right, in the first class. What is a computer? Computer is an electronic device which accepts input from the user and process on it to give result in the form of output, right? And the next is input. This is also very important thing. So what is an input? The data which is entered by the user and which is going for processing is called input, right? What is the input? It is the data entered by the user which is going for processing is called input. Here also students are going to make small mistake. That is, a data entered by the user is called input. Like that you are saying. It is not correct, because I am giving one example. For example, you are opening MS Office. In MS Office you are opening MS Word. So in MS Word it is mainly for documentation purpose. Means for any writing work is there, means we are going to prefer MS Word. We are going to write letters, different types of letters, or we are going to prepare notes. Suppose I am going to write one letter, means I am going to write some information, right? So that is entered by the user. So that letter is the input? No, whatever the data which is going to be entered by the user is not input. Yes, of course, input is nothing but data entered by the user which is going for processing. Data entered by the user is not going for processing, means that is not input, right? Now you take on a computer science branch, means you should know in detail, in clear, right? What is input? Input is a data entered by the user which is going for processing, right? It must go for processing, then it is called input. Simply you are writing one letter, means that is not input. Data entered by the user which is going for processing is called input. But generally what you are going to do? Data entered by the user is called input. Like that you are writing. It is wrong. Data entered by the user which is going for processing is called input. Right? So this is nothing but input. And the next, output. What is an output? After processing, what we get is called output. Means whenever user is going to enter data, that data is going for processing. Processing means working. So after processing, what user is going to get result, that result is called output, right? After processing, what we get result, that result is called output. That result is called output. And the next is processing. What is the meaning by processing? Processing means after receiving the input, system is going to work on that accepted input to produce the result. So that work is called processing. That work is called processing. And next thing is binary language. Binary language or else machine language. What is a machine language or what is a binary language? Means computer understandable language is called binary language. Computer understandable language or a machine understandable language is called binary language. It is made up of 2 digits, that is 0, 1. These are called binary digits. Binary digits means system is going to understand only binary digits. Binary digits. Or else system is going to binary language means a language which is made up of 0 and 1 is called binary language. Or else machine understandable language is called binary language. Means computer system is going to understand only binary language. Means which is made up of 0 and 1. Whatever we are going to write program, that is not a binary language. That thing is not in the form of 0 and 1. When computers are invented at the beginning, then we have to give it some instruction, means it must be in binary. Whenever it is going to produce the result, means it is also in binary. So means if we want give input, means we must know binary. After processing what it is going to be display, we should know what it displaying means. We should know binary language. So it is very difficult. So that's why when computers are invented at that time, it is not going to be used by all the fields. It is used by only scientists for some operation purpose. Afterwards, day by days, afterwards, instead of a binary language, computers are going to be modified and this low-level language is developed. Low-level language is developed. Means low-level language means language. It is one of the computer's programming language which works with some English commands. What is the low-level language? Low-level language is also one of the computer's programming language which works with some English commands. So commands, language which is made up of commands, English commands is called low-level language. Then it is also a very problem, because user must remember those commands to perform some operations. Compared to binary language, it is okay, because we have to give input, or input means we have to give in 0101 form only, because it understands only binary language. So low level language is better than binary language, because binary language is made up of some English commands, right? So then also it is not user friendly, means it is not going to be used in all fields. Then afterwards they think and they developed a programming language called high level computer programming language. High level computer programming language. What is mean by high level computer programming language? It is one of the computer programming language which is made up of English sentences. English sentences means we have to give some instructions, means it is possible to give through English sentences, because we all know English. So interacting with a system using English language is very easy. Interacting with computer in the beginning, binary language means 0 and 0 form, it is very difficult. And then afterwards low language is developed, means we have to remember some commands. It is also very difficult. Then afterwards high level language is derived. Computers high level language is derived. What is a high level language? It is one of the computers programming language which is made up of English sentences. So means we are going to give some instruction to the computer, means with the help of this high level language or English sentences we are going to give instruction to the computer. Then inside the computer one software is there, that is called a translator. One software means there some set of instructions are there. They are going to convert user entered English instruction to binary form. Then because computer don't understand, computer is not going to understand this English language. This English, this high level language is there for our purpose, right? It is helpful to give instruction to the computer. So whenever we are going to write a program this high level language, it is helpful to only user, but it is not going to be understood to the computer. That's why inside the computer one software is there that is called translator, that is going to translate user entered instruction, that is high level language instruction, to machine level language or binary language instructions. Then computer is going to identify that instructions and process on it and produce the result. Afterwards that result is also in machine language, that is the 0 and 1 form, that is not understood to user. That's why one more translator is the same translator is going to convert that binary form to user understandable form. Then afterwards it is going to be displayed on monitor. Then that is identified by user. So like this, regarding translator I am going to explain in afterwards. So just here, think here, binary language means machine level language, means made up of 0 and 1. This is computer understandable language. Next, low level language means it is one of the computer's language which is working on some English commands. It is very difficult to understand commands. That's why scientists are thinking and they developed a high level computer programming language which is made up of English sentences. For example, this is C, C++, Java, COBOL. These are what computers high level programming languages. And what are the examples for this low level programming language? Example 8085, 8086 microprocessor programming languages. They are called low level languages, means computers low level languages. Means when we are going to study these 8085, 8086 microprocessor programming languages, they are made up of English commands. Their English sentences are not supported. In the high level language, we are going to give instructions using English sentences. So this is simple. And next is C++. What is the mean by C++? C++ is one of the computers high level programming language. What is the C++? C++ is one of the computers high level programming language. It is developed by a person called C++ is one of the computers high level programming language developed by a person called B.J. Strostrup. B.J. Strostrup in 1980s. In the 1970s, a person called Dennis Ritchie developed a high level programming called C programming. So for your syllabus, C programming is not there. You are going to learn a higher version, another programming language, that is C++. This C++ is one of the computers high level programming language developed by a person called B.J. Strostrup. And the next one is memory. What is that? Memory. It is a place where user entered data is going to be stored for future purpose, right? What is a memory, or what is a computer memory? It is a space, or it is a location where user entered information or user entered data is going to be stored for future purpose, right? So what we studied in this class means we studied some important terms generally we are going to be used while studying computer science. Thank you, students.